Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Christina and I currently live and work in the Dominican Republic, specifically in Santiago de los Caballeros. I am currently documenting my experience living here and my next couple months of living outside of the US. Today's video was inspired because I have a lot of friends and family ask me if they were to come to the DR, like what areas they should go to, what they should see, where they should stay. And so I wanted to talk about my top 5 beaches in the Dominican Republic. I will say it's very hard for me to choose only 5. There's so many beaches here that are gorgeous for different reasons. There's so many beaches that offer different things. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. But I just went with the top 5 that I go to the most or would go to the most if I was looking for a beach to go to. And then I also wanted to rank it by sand quality, water quality, overall vibes, and accessibility, whether that be like by car or by bus. So yes, let's get right in. So in the number 5 spot is Playa Costambar. I actually had never been here, I hadn't been here until this last weekend actually. I just went for the first time and I will for sure go again. I wish I had been before. Honestly, it's so nice. It is in Puerto Plata. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from Santiago, which is really close, which is really nice. And it feels almost like a retirement community. It's very calm. It's like gated when you first go in, so it feels kind of chill. Like there's not a ton of people, at least when we went. And I really liked it. I will say that the area we went to, because it's like a whole coast that's technically that beach, the part we were at, the sand wasn't sand, it was shells, and it was pretty painful to walk on for very long, but the further down you went, the more sandy it got. So definitely make sure you're in the sandy area. And I'll also say it is pretty touristy. There's definitely Dominicans there as well, but the food was kind of expensive and the drinks were expensive. Like a piña colada and like the pineapple itself was 500 pesos, which is a little over 10 US dollars, which is a lot. I've gotten those for like $2.50 before. And then a piña colada without the pineapple was like $8, which again, like, I don't know, it's more than what you would pay at a different beach. But it was really, really nice. The water was very clear. There's a little bit of waves, but not too much. I will say there was like some seaweed and stuff like that, which is like, it's a beach, so that's what's gonna happen. But overall, I would for sure go back. It was a really good vibe and very pretty. So I'm looking at my notes again if you see me looking over here. But for the sand quality in the area that we were in, I would literally give it a 1 out of 5. It was just not sand, it was literally shells, which is fun if you're looking for shells, but painful if you're like walking into the water, because the water, like into the water was shells as well. Water quality, I'd probably give a 3 out of 5. It was very pretty. It was pretty clear, but there was a lot of stuff floating in it. Like there was some trash floating in it, which that happens as well. But overall, really nice. Overall vibes, 5 out of 5, easily. I really liked it. Very chill. Like I'd feel comfortable going there by myself, which says a lot because I don't like going to a lot of beaches by myself. And then accessibility, by car, I don't mean like if you have a wheelchair or anything like that, but accessibility by car, 5 out of 5, super easy. I will say by bus, I don't really know, because you do have to kind of go in, like the main road to get to Puerto Plata from Santiago has a lot of buses that can take you, but then to get to the beach, you kind of have to like drive inland or outland, I guess, towards the beach a little bit, and like some kind of windy roads. So I'm not really sure about that. So if you have a car, 5 out of 5. If you don't have a car, probably like 2.5 out of 5. Beach number 4, Playa Encuentro. Playa Encuentro is super close to Cabarete, probably like 10-15 minutes down the road towards the Sua from Cabarete. And it's so pretty. It's like a surfing beach, so the waves do get really, really big. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're wanting to swim. It is hard to get in the water, but the sand is gorgeous. It's very, very like not populated. There's not a lot of like hotels or restaurants. There are some, but there's not a lot. And it's not that, there's much more tourists than Dominicans, I will say, but there's not that many tourists, because not that long ago, it pretty much was a virgin beach. The first time I went was in 2019, and it was basically a virgin beach. Like there was houses near the beach, but there was no restaurants, there was no bars, there's really not that much there. So it's like being more populated, I guess, but it's still not that touristy. There's still not that many people. I really do like it. It's very pretty, like the scenery and the way the beach is and all of that. So And if you want to surf, there's like surf schools, and the waves are perfect for that. So sand quality for this beach, for Playa Encuentro, I would give it a 4 out of 5. It is really nice sand. The only reason I say that is with any beach, there can be a lot of seaweed sometimes, but like that's to be expected. I'd maybe bump it up to a 5 out of 5, to be honest, if you twisted my arm. Water quality, just because it is really hard to swim in, because the waves and there's a riptide, I would give it a 2 out of 5, just because it can be dangerous. And then overall vibes, 5 out of 5. I think all of these I gave a 5 out of 5. It's such a chill beach. Like, it does feel like a surfer bum beach. Like, people take their like hammocks and like hang them up, and there are a couple little tiny restaurants, but they're not like big ones. They're little like shacks, or not shacks, what's the word? I don't know. Like, they're just little like stands, that's the word that you go up to. So good vibes. Accessibility, by car, again, easy. I'd say a 5 out of 5. By a bus, you could get dropped off, but you'd have to walk in. So just in general, I would say like a 4 out of 5 for accessibility. But that is Playa Encuentro, and that is also in Puerto Plata. Next is Cabarete. You've probably heard me talk about Cabarete. If you've ever been here, you probably heard about Cabarete. If you follow any other Americans who lived in the DR, you've probably heard them talk about Cabarete. I feel like it's just everyone, like every foreigner's been there. I do feel like not a lot of Dominicans go. Like, it's getting more common, but I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason, but a lot of extranjeros, foreigners, go there. Cabarete, I will say, in terms of the beach itself, there are a ton of nicer beaches out there, but in terms of beach environment, it's better. So like Costambar and Playa Encuentro have nicer beaches, but there's really nothing else there. Like, I could not stay a full week at either of them, in my opinion. Costambar, maybe after seeing it, there's more stuff, and I know my friend does that with her parents, but Playa Encuentro, there's nothing. Like, I wouldn't want to stay there. People do, but I wouldn't want to. Cabarete has a ton of really good restaurants, really good cafes. There's a club, there's a ton of bars, there's 2 gyms, there's a grocery store. Like, there's really anything you need. There's like a money exchange, laundromat. So like, for a longer stay, that's where I would choose, and that's where I stayed for a month, not that long ago with my friend. But I will say, that being said, the sand in Cabarete is not as white as other places because it is so touristy. The water is not turquoise. It's still super nice. It's still Caribbean water, but it's not turquoise. And the waves can get really crazy because you can kite surf there. So the wind will be really, really strong. But that being said, you can kite surf there. So I learned to kite surf last time I stayed there. Learned, by that I mean I can go out, I still can't come back in. But like, it's a really cool, unique experience. It's really cool to watch too. And then just good vibes if you're wanting to be able to do other things. Because yeah, you can walk down the beach and there's a ton of restaurants, or you can walk around the beach and go salsa dancing. Like, there's a ton of things to do besides just the beach. So Cabarete's rating, I would say 3 for the sand, honestly, because sometimes there's a ton of seaweed, but that's a beach for you, and it's not white sand. Water, I would give it a 3.5 just because it is usually really easy to swim further down towards the restaurants, but like if you go up where I was staying, it can be pretty wavy, but like that's fine as long as you're cool with like riding the waves. I think it's fun. It's just not going to be like a relaxing, like I'm just floating in this turquoise water. Overall vibes, 5 out of 5 easily. Again, there's so much to do, nice people, etc. And then accessibility, 5 out of 5 easily, because you can get there by a bus, you can get there by car. I will say from the buses, you do have to take a concha, like a public car, to get into Cabarete. But yeah, super nice. I do love Cabarete. All right, in slot number 2 is Playa Grande. Playa Grande is in Cabrera, which is like 45 minutes from Cabarete. And if you've ever been or you have the opportunity to go, definitely do it. I love it. The first time I went was in my study abroad, and I like was obsessed with it. I had no idea where we were. It was like one of our weekend excursions, and we always left super early, and I usually fell asleep in the bus. So I just like woke up and we were at this amazing beach and we had lunch there. That's pretty much all I remembered from my study abroad, but I love that beach. The sand is like almost white. It's a really long stretch of beach. You can walk all the way down. I'm pretty sure it's, I don't want to misquote. There's an NBA player that owns a hotel at the end of the beach. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, I thought it was, okay. Michael Jordan owns a hotel at the end of the beach. Super expensive hotel, but if anyone ever goes there, let me know because it looks amazing. and it's just really cool. There's a bunch of like little vendors for like food or drinks. There's vendors if you want to buy souvenirs. If not, there's plenty of places you can go that you'd be far away from them. The waves can get kind of big, but there's always an area that they're not that big. The water is like turquoise. It's gorgeous. It's just a really good vibe. The only problem is there's not that much close to it. So I wouldn't want to vacation there for more than like a couple days if I just want to be on the beach, because there isn't anything else to do. And as far as I know, there's really no big grocery stores. I think they're making one right now. I think they're trying to get it to be more tourist friendly. But as of right now, there's not that much to do. But it's so pretty because like it's very wooded. There's a ton of palm trees lining it, and there's people who own houses in the palm trees, and then it's just straight up beach, and it's so pretty, as you can see from all the videos I'm overlaying with this. But yes, okay, so overall rating, sand is honestly prettiness. I'd give it a 5 out of 5. The sand is pristine, so pretty. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 overall because it gets super hot to walk on. And then in some areas it's really, really slanted. But again, if we're not being that picky, 5 out of 5, hands down. Water, I'd also give a 4.5 out of 5. It's so pretty, but the waves can get really big, which is fun. But if you're wanting to just like float on your back, it's gonna be kind of hard. Overall vibes, 5 out of 5, hands down. It's just like really fun environment to be in, very chill. There's not gonna be a bunch of people trying to sell things to you. Like as you walk in, they'll try and sell it to you, but they're not gonna like walk up and down the beach trying to sell to you. It's very safe. There is food there, like the fried fish is super good. It's just a good time. Accessibility, I would give it a 3 out of 5. As far as I know, you need a car. There may be a bus you could take from Cabarete there that would drop you off, but it wouldn't be like a big bus. It would be a smaller, like Wagwa is what we would call them. So just like a 16 passenger van type setup that you just like pay to get on, and then you just let them drop you off, but you would have to walk in that case, and then you'd have to figure out how to get back. But yeah, beautiful. I really love that beach. And then my number one beach is Playa Bonita and Las Terrenas. There are probably beaches in Las Terrenas that are nicer, but I haven't spent that much time there, and this is the beach that we always go to, and I literally love it. That being said, you also have to go in the right time of year. The first time I went was with my mom and Johan the couple days before Semana Santa, so a couple days before Easter, and it was literally perfect. The sand was like white, the water, there was no waves, it was crystal clear. You could float, like you could sit, no waves would ever push you over. Like it was absolutely amazing. Second time I went with my mom, just my mom, and the waves would come up so far on the, or like the tide, I guess, on the sand. The first day we had our towels laid out, and the wave, like a wave came up and soaked literally everything, and we like luckily grabbed all of our like electronics and books and stuff before, but our towels were absolutely soaked. And for the rest of the week we had to rent like those chairs that you can lay out on so that we were elevated a little bit so the water could just run underneath us. Again, still fine, it was still beautiful. It was just, that was a little bit annoying the first day. And then the last time I went was with my best friend, and it rained nearly every day, all day, the entire time we were there, and I felt so bad. I was like, I promise this place is absolutely gorgeous when it's not doing this. But because it was raining like that, the beach was covered in like debris, and then the water was like brown because it was so like churned up. So yeah, I don't really know. Don't go in rainy season, and I think probably right now-ish, like March, April is a good time to go. But overall, gorgeous. The town in Las Terrenas is not big, but there's a lot to do if you are just on vacation. Like there's a little downtown, there's shops, there's restaurants, there's bars, you can go dancing, there's grocery stores, there's a lot to do there. So it's good. It's just really hard to get to from Santiago. It's like 4 or 5 hours away, and it's not an easy drive. Like it's exhausting. And then I also will say, don't go on the weekend of Semana Santa. So Holy Week is a full week, but most Dominicans have Thursday to like Sunday off. And that is when everybody goes to all the beaches. And Las Terrenas is like notorious for being absolutely packed. And the thing with Las Terrenas is, or at least the beach that I go to, Playa Bonita, is it's a road, but it's so narrow. It could be a one-way, but it's not. It's a two-way. And when people go for Semana Santa, the entire road is like blocked off because of how many cars there are. Like you can't get through. It doesn't look relaxing, so I wouldn't recommend it. But overall rating, sand, 5 out of 5. It's so white, it's so clean, in the good time of year to go. So we're just gonna rate it for like the good time of year to go. Water, 5 out of 5. It's clear, it's calm, it's like literally like turquoise. It's beautiful. Overall vibes, 5 out of 5. There's a lot to do. Great place to vacation. Good places to eat. Pretty good Airbnbs. It's more expensive than Cabarete, but it's really, really nice. And then accessibility, I would only give it a 3.5 out of 5, just because I do think you need a car. You can go by bus from Santo Domingo and Santiago, but it's long, like a very long bus ride. I wouldn't want to do it in a bus. And then once you get there, you'd have to walk a lot. So again, yeah, I wouldn't do that. But it's super nice. So highly recommend. That would be my top beach. And then I want to have a couple honorable mentions. I don't have videos of these as far as I know, but Juan Dolio near the capital, super pretty beaches. I just don't go that much because it's farther from Santiago. And then another great one is Playa Macao in Punta Cana. I don't go there again because it's super far. It's like 70 hours away. But I went once. It was really, really pretty. So if you're near that coast, that's a great one. And then Bahia de las Águilas is one of the prettiest beaches I've ever seen. It is a virgin beach, but it's so far. It's in like the far south, like towards Haiti. And you usually have to go with like a tour group because you probably have to camp. I know people have done it in a day, like if you have a good car, but it's hard to get to. And then it's so far, like it's not worth it if you don't stay the night. And then to get to the actual Bahia, you have to either walk 45 minutes through the desert or you have to take a boat ride. And I'd opt for the boat ride if I were you. But so pretty, for sure worth seeing. That is one of the prettiest beaches I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like an experience. It's not like, let me go vacation there at all. So yeah, there's a bunch of beaches, like I said, like Playa Alicia is pretty, Punta Jucia, Cayo Arena, like there's a ton of beaches that are amazing, but I would say these are the ones that I visit the most or want to visit the most, and they're probably the most accessible unless you're in the capital, in which case Punta Cana is gonna be your best bet, or Samaná, it's closer. So yes, this is my ranking of my favorite beaches here in the Dominican Republic. I would love to hear what you think, what beaches you would add to the list, or what beaches you would take off of the list. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.